What is up? Here is this week's episode of Smart Money Sundays. I'm going to be going over all the usual pairs that I go over in my daily market breakdown video for the VIP community. And we're going to go ahead and get started on Euro AD. So I do trade different pairs than Aiden does, but that doesn't really matter. I'm still going to be going over the majors. I'm still going to be going over everything that you guys would want to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, looking at this chart from a higher time frame perspective, on the weekly, we might be trading down into something in here. But for the immediate time, I'm going to be focusing on the close structure. So this was a break of structure here. We created this low, this high. Now we don't get a new low until all the way down here. So we are technically working within the range, the bearish range from this high to this low, or more specifically, since this is the deepest or the highest high before the new low. So it's range, pullback, new range. And after you get this expansion, so there's the BOS here, your range was really from all the way up here to down here. But when you get a new low, in the case of a downtrend, the highest high that formed within the previous range is going to be the new high for the new range. So this is the highest high that created this low. That's the most concise way to say it. This is the highest high that created this low. So we are working within this region here. Now, we do have a lot of inefficiency up here. We also have a run on this high. So we ran this high, have an unmitigated buy to sell with this candle here that we will most likely trade into. And if we go ahead and drop down to the daily, we have now broken structure. And what I want to show you here as well is that we can refine our area to just this candle here. So we can trade back up into this candle potentially. We did sweep all these highs. And now from a daily perspective, we had, this downtrend here, break above, low, high, low, high, low, high, break down, right? Pull back. So this is the leg. Pull back, new low occurs here. Pull back leg. So it would be like this. I'll draw it out pretty explicitly. Break of structure, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Now this high did trade above the high here, so we could potentially be seeing a reversal to the upside. I'd want some confirmations on the lower time frames, but if you look at it without the wicks, which is how you should view structures without the wicks, you can see that this is a leg, a pullback, a new low, a high, a low, and now we've officially closed above it there. Now, if we're going to be looking for general areas to enter, that's kind of how I operate. I look for general areas and smart money, but you can see a general area would be this area that price had a difficult time pushing through for a couple days. Now you can see it a little bit more closely right here, but this general area would be really good for a retracement into. So it'd be great if we could get a push down into here to then continue higher. And we have also almost closed above this high on the 4 hours. So on the daily though, we broke above, which makes me think that we are actually going to go long. And if we trade down, it might trade below here to take liquidity, but it shouldn't trade below here. And also there is an efficiency here, which could make us dig deeper than this level. But what you'll oftentimes see is that price will miss smart money areas just to trade into a general point of interest. So on Euro AD, I'm looking for price to rebound off of here. And for an intra-week target, so meaning for this week, we might get brought up into here. That could be a little bit of a stretch because you can see last week was from, so 11th, 15, 17, 18. Yeah. So the most you'll see for a week move was about this leg, because this was a pretty substantial movement. And yeah, we could definitely reach up into here, potentially even up into here. Just that previous high, because it is an area of liquidity, but definitely come back down into here, push up hourly. Not a whole lot of structure. This is hourly structure here, but just because, you know, we break this doesn't mean we're just going to roll over. We need to keep in mind, you know, the higher time frames, and the higher time frames right now are indicating to me that we should go higher. So Euro AUD, definitely want to see us push higher for the week, potentially up into here. And you can pair the smart money with everything I'm telling you guys. I promise. This is when stuff gets very confluential. So you can see I can refine this and this to just this, an efficiency candle right here, right? I can refine this general area to a 2-day sell to buy. So now you see that I've picked areas of sensitivity and then matched up smart money concepts with it. Now I'll drop back down and boom, there you have it. That's your smart money setup, right? That's what you're looking at for your smart money trades. So potentially seeing this on Euro AUD, that's what I'd like to see. And ultimately, I'd like to see a drive up into here. But for this week, we are going to say our expectation is trading from this sell to buy up into this sell to buy, or equivalently testing this general region of price, playing with the structure. That's the big thing with, you know, playing with regions of prices. You need to play a structure and you want to pair it with smart money. So trading from this region up into this region, and then eventually all the way up into right here. And you can see that this region really lines up with this lows, 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 high, high, small low. So that is my outlook for Euro AUD. GBP USD, talked about this. It's finally picked its direction. It consolidated for, I don't even know how long, pretty much a month. So we had a pullback, break of structure, just kept faking out, faking out, faking out, broke below. And then this was, so from a body closure perspective, this was the close below. And then it just traded into this region of price right in here. Traded into here and made a new low. So it shouldn't trade above this. And now for me, general area that I want to see retested, right, is right in here. And if you go down or go up, sorry, to the daily time frame, got a buy to sell right there. Now, a little bit of a concern is this retail trend line. Sorry, this retail trend line. Retail trend line here, that's a little bit of a concern. And also, if you notice on the daily time frame, you get the new low here. This is the pullback. So from a daily perspective, it shouldn't trade above this high, which means it could trade above this buy to sell that, by the way, lines up with that area I just talked about. However, this is all efficiently priced, and I don't really see a reason for us to. On the weekly time frame, I pointed this out a long time ago in one of my videos. Super easy Joji candle buy to sell, and I was talking about targeting these lows here. And now I personally think we're making a run for this low here. So making a run for this low here, that is what I think. So we could get a nice push down this week. I'd like to see a pullback first, but if it trades down into here, start to look for pullbacks to the upside. But you can see that this low is also a general region. A low, a high, a low. Draw that in. It's what we should be reaching for, right? And where are we gonna hopefully move to first? Well, I hope to see us move into here, this buy to sell, and then trade down into this region, but we most likely are going to be targeting this low and probably this inefficiency here. It has now picked a direction, and this is, to me, certainly a pullback after having this leg to the downside. And you can see this is just really clear wave play right in here, just trading into buy to sells on the way down. So pullback, and if you fib it, it's not going to be into the 50% if you do it like this. However, if you pull it where the actual selling started, it is pretty much right at the 50%. So to me, a pullback, I don't think that we're going to trade above this buy to sell, but if we do, the area it's going to come into is right here. Look for some type of smart money manipulation right in there. If you go down to the 4-hour, it'll stand out a little bit more. So this is region 1 that I want to see, right, with this buy to sell here. And then the other area that I would be looking for is right in here. And this is just a matter of being able to pick them out from the higher time frames, playing the structure, pairing with smart money. And you can see if we come up into here, we could trade into this buy to sell, fill some inefficiency, and sweep a high to drop lower. But I do want to see GU go down. So gold, a little bit of a tricky spot, but I did talk about it. Now, from a structural perspective without wicks, which is, again, what I like seeing, we had a breakdown, a high, a low, a high, a low, a high, a low, a higher high. So we shouldn't trade below this low right here. Right now, if we go here, start finding areas to buy price up, this looks like a good one. And with gold, so I'm trying to avoid discussions of retail trading with the Forex pairs because retail doesn't work with Forex. You can, find general areas and pair with smart money, but it doesn't always work. Gold, however, retail does actually work kind of well for whatever reason. But on gold, what I am seeing is an enduring uptrend. And you can see, for instance, we have this trend line here. Price is hanging out at it right now. In addition to this trend line, you have another one here. And guys, this is something that's truly only applicable to gold. Don't go try this with other stuff. It's not going to work that well. But just playing with structure, we had this breaker structure right here above this high. Now we're trading down. This is a good general area. Now you're going to want to drop down to the lower time frames to get a confirmation breaker structure, but this is another good region of price that we could potentially trade up into this week. If we trade past this, we're going to trade into here. And if we trade past here, we're going all the way up to this inefficiency here. Now, hourly structure, you can see it's just been respecting. We made this low, a new low, it pulled back and dropped. We made this new low. And if we're going to keep respecting the hourly structure into this level, look for sells right in here. Had a low, a high, a low, a high, and you do have some inefficiency with the buy to sell that swept out liquidity. So potentially into there, and then you can see the negative 27 just lined up, the 62% lines up, and that could be a really good region and trade to take this week. So looking for shorts on gold, push down into here and then rebound back up. Euro USD weekly, it is still in a range, honestly. This was technically a leg, a pullback. So until we trade below here, we're still bullish, but this is just really ugly. However, on the daily, it's not too bad to see. You can see we had a leg, a pullback, a leg, a pullback, a leg, a pullback, a leg, a pullback, and a new leg. So we really shouldn't trade above this here. Buy to sell / area that price had a hard time breaking above. 1, 2 highs, right? Now 4-hour, we're just maintaining that bearishness, making lower highs and lower lows. Right? Except here, we did kind of trade above this high, but it looks like a run on liquidity to me. This price action is honestly quite ugly. We do have a ton of equal highs though that we should take out. Now, after this giant push up on the hourly, we had some breaks of structure, but we broke back down. So you can see this was a break of structure, traded down, boom, low, high, low, high, low, high, break down, low, high, low. So it could just short off from here again, and this would be a strong region of price, or a strong region that price will likely bounce off of if we do end up shorting off, especially with this 15-minute candle. And here's another example of smart money blending in, right? So you can see we had inefficiency, this buy to sell, this singular wick high here. And then we get this really impulsive 15-minute candle that ends up breaking structure to the upside here. So, or sorry, filling the inefficiency here and then breaking structure to the downside. So if he is going to keep going short, look for it to short off of here. If it's going to go long, there's not a clear region, honestly. But if it goes long, it's going to go much higher, most likely into this buy to sell, especially with this inefficiency in conjunction with this Fibonacci level, in conjunction as well, sorry, with the moving averages resting right in here. So you can see it's just respecting these really nicely, fanning into them and just dropping down. So I do want to see it go long. I don't know where it is going to go long if it does, but right now, even though I want to see it go long, it's looking like it's just going to go short, because this actually, it left these highs here, but it did sweep this high out. So this to me isn't a break of structure. Now we could accumulate and push higher, but for shorts, that's what I'm going to keep looking for this week, from 1.082 down into these lows in here. NZD/JPY, not a ton. CAD-J, also not a lot. That's really everything important that I wanted to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. I know that it isn't the typical way that you guys, have seen these videos, but I hope that this helps. I hope you pair it with the structure videos I've been dropping. Those are really, 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 really helpful. So if you're confused about why I'm drawing zones and talking about structure, go watch those. I think they'll help a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to message us on Telegram. But that is my outlook for this week. That's what I want to see on everything. This is kind of a simplified version, a little less smart money and more just talking about structure and zones, and then looking at the smart money, not just looking at smart money first and then, kind of breaking it down from that perspective. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy, and we will speak to you all tomorrow. Let's have a great week this week, and let's kill it in the markets. Bye, guys.